Yes, this is the next project.
Absolutely. Nice.
Nothing like a clean slate to start with.
Definitely not. Nah, that is awesome. Obviously, what was it, yellow before?
It was yellow, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've had all the rust cut out, so it's all new panels. There's new quarters in it.
Yeah.
There was a big bit of rust here. It's got new floor on one side. And that was honestly about it. There was a couple of little patches up on the sills, but that was all.
Yeah. And the gutters look good, so that's awesome.
Yeah, the other side there's a couple of little patches, but yeah.
Okay. Is that a?
Yeah, it had that in it.
Port windows.
Yeah, the bubble port windows. So I assume that's an old Vancraft thing from back in the day.
Yeah.
Like Vancraft used to do all this stuff in Sydney.
I remember that, and the old Teardrop ones and everything. Yeah.
And you know, that's what got me into panel vans. I was sitting at a stop, was it a driver reviver? With my dad when we were on our way up the North Coast, and I was in Newcastle and I saw a green panel van go through a roundabout with a teardrop window on the back, and it was dumped and had a surfboard sticking out the back, and tailgate up, and that was pretty much from that moment I thought, you know what, I like that.
Yeah, it's that iconic look in there.
Yeah, so really and I had that thought purely in my mind when I bought this, my first van.
Yep.
So,
no, perfect, awesome. Dan, so what's next with the business, mate? What are you doing? I heard you talk about getting a unit to set yourself up so you're not working from home.
Yeah, that's on the cards.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's definitely on the cards. We've just got to wait for the right thing to come up in our budget. So I've got room at home to play at the moment, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing until the right thing pops up, basically.
Okay,
Yeah, so a couple of things to sort out before we can do that, but you know, we're pretty close now.
Oh, perfect.
To finding something, so yeah.
And you're going to be close to where you are in Joondalup, maybe Wangara or something like that?
Yeah, look, definitely either Wangara or Neerabup. Either one of those areas will be fine. I'd probably even prefer Neerabup, to be honest, but we'll just see what we can get.
Awesome.
What's available. There's not much out at Neerabup at the moment. So.
Not a drama. So what, probably a question you probably don't get very often is, what is your perfect kind of customer?
Well, I don't know. I like things to get a bit crazy. Look, it's funny. I really love clean body lines. I don't like body kits and all that kind of stuff, and skirts and flares and all that kind of stuff. I really like clean line cars, but you know, when it comes to panel vans, talk about panel vans. You know, the old Monza front ends and that sort of thing that they used to put on them back in the 70s, and you know, I've got all the old custom van and truck magazines at home, and I read through them every now and then, and you know, just back then people weren't afraid to just get in there with a grinder and make a mess and then clean it up into something totally different and awesome, and that's what I really liked about that era. Of the panel vans, and you know, that's really why I'm a panel van person, I think, because I just love customizing stuff. It's good fun.
I mean, you see those old the old Ford panel vans that they made almost like the Interceptor fronts on them.
Yeah, that's it.
Stuff like that.
And they had Trans Am front ends on them. I've seen one with a VB Commodore front end on it.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few renditions of things, you know, like even HQ, you know, they used to cut the headlights out, put Capri headlights in them. So that had square headlights, which never came out in the H series. So yeah, there was all sorts of just little tiny mods and things that I kind of, you know, and every now and then I'll see something and I go, yeah, man, that's sweet, you know. Interior wise, sky's the limit. I mean, I've kept this one fairly straightforward and simple. But you know, I do like integrating things into the interior. Like I've hidden a reversing camera in the old clock panel. You know, I said the aim of keeping this one original, you know.
Absolutely,
But you know, like the next trim I do in my HQ, you know, that's I drew a plan up years ago, and I'll follow that plan mostly.
Yep.
But yeah, compartments, opening and closing hatches, things like that. You know, little hidden bits and pieces here and there. Is definitely what I'll be going for with that.
No, perfect. That'd be all right. That'd be great for shows.
Yeah. You know, and again, you know, just an ode back to the 70s where people were putting bars and black and white TVs, tube TVs in their cars.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yep.
At least these days, you know, we've got flat monitors and we've got all sorts of LED lighting. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff we can use to our advantage, you know.
Absolutely.
When I first moved here to Perth, I worked at a limousine building company, and I was in a crew of 4, and we used to build the interiors of the limousines. We build them from scratch, you know, and we'd use perspex and then run the LED lighting through it so the whole perspex panel would light up. You know,
yep.
Ceilings that change colours, all sorts of crazy stuff, you know. So I was, again, really inspired by that experience. I was there for 2 years, you know, and like the stuff we used to do was just so left field from what I was used to. Really opened my eyes to what can happen in a custom interior, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely see a lot of the other shops and what they've done. Like, for example, Trim Care. Some of the designs they've done it's unique, but it's to that period.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And you're along the same kind of lines.
Yeah, I try to. I mean, the customers come to you with certain requests at times too, so you've got to sort of go with what the customer wants at the end of the day. But I mean, I do a lot of old cars, hot rods, and things like that, which is what I really love doing. You know, like so I've got a mate down south. I've done 3 hot rods for him now.
Awesome.
And then I've done 2 for his mate. You know, and had another one of a guy that he knows ring me yesterday. So there's no shortage of old cars around Perth to work on.
Yeah.
I don't really advertise, I just get word of mouth, trying to stay small so I don't get overwhelmed.
But it's the perfect way to be. The word of mouth is the best form of advertising anyway.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, so old school, love old school, custom, man, can be anything, you know, like, there's a lot of good stuff you can see out there now on YouTube and that sort of thing, you know. You just watch people do things.
Yeah, yeah.
Where back in the day you would have had to actually enter a shop and let someone show you that sort of stuff. These days we can see it all on YouTube just about, you know. So yeah, I think there's a lot of inspiration for people building cars around at the moment. There's a lot of stuff happening around the world, a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of good products coming out. Like finally Australia's getting on board with the reproduction parts for some of these old cars.
Yeah.
We're getting better products through them now, through different companies, you know.
Yeah, perfect.
So that makes it heaps better to, you know, when you can just go and buy a new mirror or, you know, buy a new set of something or other for your old Holden or your old Ford, you know.
Well, absolutely, and that's what I've always found like was really great with a USA.
Yeah.
You buy anything to build
yeah.
a whole car from scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
Shells included.
Yeah.
Whereas we can't get that over here in Australia.
Yeah, no, we can't get that much stuff yet. But yeah, America, you're right. But their market is huge, so
yes.
they've got plenty of people buying this stuff, which enables their industry to thrive. You know, so
yeah.
We're a bit unique down here in Australia with our small population.
Yep.
But yeah, you know, I think that also goes to our strengths too. You've got a lot of really awesome people here, and you know, not just here in Perth, but Australia-wide, you know, that can do amazing things, rebuilding panels, remaking panels that we can't buy, refabricating things that you can't buy. You know what I mean? It's brought a lot of people out that can do stuff, you know,
absolutely,
and make things, you know. So I think that makes us a bit unique down here in Australia. We're a bit more hands-on. We can't just go and buy stuff straight off the shelf. So
yep.
And in some cases, like people like me who'd want to, you know, like I mean, I love making custom stuff. If something's broken and you can't replace it, well, I just go to work at how can I remake it, how can I fix it, how can I turn it into something else that works the same way, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just the imagination gets going, and
yeah, cool. I noticed before you talked about that you know you can pretty much find anything on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now you've also got your own YouTube channel for your business. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I'm just starting it. It's just the Vision Trim Shop YouTube channel. I've just started it, and it's not really meant to be anything but just, you know, a bit of a glimpse into what we do and as a trimmer in my daily life, you know.
Yep.
So the first lot of videos I'll be putting out will be on a XW interior for a friend of mine back over in Canberra, actually. But that's the first lot of videos I'll be putting up.
Perfect.
So it's just basically a ground up rebuild from them, some bare frames right through, re-spring work, the whole lot, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, but I hope to do more. I'm filming the panel van that I'm working on at the moment, so I'm hoping to do more with that as well.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's meant to be a casual thing. That's just, you know, they're not instructional videos or anything like that. You know, like I don't want to go down that road. I just want to, you know, put it out there what we do, you know. And so in the future, I want to do more custom stuff because that's the real fun stuff to do.
Yep.
So yeah.
So what's the kind of craziest thing you've ever had to do as a custom kind of build?
Well, I reckon the craziest thing I've ever done is I've got a hold of it right here. is this full leather tool steering wheel, you know, in vegetable leather. You know, it's all carved out with skulls and flames and grenades and guns and all sorts of stuff. You know, so there's about probably 40 hours, 50 hours maybe in this steering wheel alone.
Wow.
So that was probably the, you know, and it's hard to do that for a customer because you try and say $2 for a steering wheel to a customer and they're just going to look at you sideways.
Yeah,
you know, so unless someone specifically wants this and they're building something wild, I probably couldn't see myself doing many of these. But for me, it was just sitting in the shed with a couple of coldies in the evenings and, you know, and just tinkering away for a few weeks.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, not much else really that crazy, but you know, you're always doing weird things. Like, so back in the day in Canberra, I did a XB Falcon, and the guy wanted a single racing seat in the middle of the back seat.
Yep.
So you had the 2 racing seats in the front, 1 in the middle of the back, and then we decked all out either side and had subwoofers and all sorts of stuff everywhere. You know what I mean? And we had to. He wanted racing harnesses right through, so we had 3 sets of racing harnesses all set up in it.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, you get to do some crazy stuff every now and then.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Well, that makes it interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Not the same old boring stuff day in, day out, you know?
No, that's it. And I'm always sort of looking for things that no one else has done too. I like the idea of who else has got a leather tilt steering wheel. That's what gets me going about it. You know what I mean? That's what makes me sort of go, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a perfect day for bloody cruising around, that's for sure.
Oh, it is, mate. Yeah, it's a great day. The sun is shining, the sky is blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do drive this in the rain, by the way.
Many of us don't.
I know. Yeah, like I said, this is the one to get out and drive, you know.
Yeah.
It had a respray a couple of years ago, or before I took it over to that, so 3 years ago now. Had a respray just to tidy it up.
Yeah.
Like I was explaining before, it had lots of stone chips and bits and pieces from its journey over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You've got to clean it up every now and again, make sure she's pretty.
Oh yeah, it just, you know, there was only a couple of rust bubbles. There was not very much rust in it, you know, and that's good for over here. As you know, Perth cars tend to be rusty when they get to this age.
Yes.
But this one was a country Victoria car, so I don't think there's a lot of cancer in it.
Yeah.
But in saying that, we didn't strip it right back to bare metal, so we really don't know.
Yeah, well, that's where the fun stuff begins, is when you start sandblasting it back to bare metal, you find where all the hidden stuff is.
Yeah, that's right, and that's kind of what I didn't want to care about that with this car, because like I said, I still want to be able to get out, drive it without being too paranoid that I've just spent 30 grand on a paint job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'd rather just, you know, have a good paint job that's not anything too over the top. It's white, so it's really easy to touch up if we need to touch it up.
Yeah.
This is base coat, it's not metallic, it's not any of that stuff. So this is I kind of deliberately did that so that, you know, if you did get a scratch or a ding or a chip or something or other, you know, you just touch it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy as pie, you know, it's nothing too serious. And my painter, Glenn, out at Mirror Image, mate, he looks after me. He did respray on this and painted the bumper bars up, and he did all the, you know, the windscreen wipers and everything.
Oh, good.
Did all the jams while we were at it. So yeah, and he done a great job.
It's good when you get good quality tradesmen that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about what they're doing till you ride.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn's good. I've never seen anything shabby come out of his place. So yeah.
And to be honest with you, it is a dying art working on these cars. Like, a lot of people can't even tune like the old carburetors and things like that. They can't work it out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not taught it. If it hasn't got a computer, they just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? You know, computers and it's modern technology. Let's face it. I love driving the new cars. They, you know, they go well. They're reliable.
Yep.
You know, like technology is. Like, look what they do with the Barra 6-cylinder engine. You know what I mean? It's stupid amounts of horsepower out of it. And it's just because the technology's better.
Absolutely.
You know, they make better blocks and they make better oil flow through the blocks and all that kind of stuff. You know, it all makes a difference at the end of the day.
And they're all lighter than what the old bloody V8 engines are. They used to weigh a ton, whereas the new engines are half the weight, if that.
Yeah, alley blocks and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Better go slower. It's alright, we've got to get off up here anyway.
Yeah, that's just it. A lot of people taking their Sunday cruise on a Monday.
Yeah. Well, might as well. It is a public holiday, so.
Well, it is. That's it. Everyone's trying to relax.
Yeah.
And why not? They're going to have to smash the week out again tomorrow.
No, that's it. Yeah, and being a short week, when you work for yourself, you've got to go that little bit extra harder on the Tuesday.
Absolutely. So I remember being in business myself, any public holiday came up, it sometimes felt like a bit more of a menace than what it was actually, like, spending time away from work.
Yeah, it's great when you're an employee.
Yeah. Sucks when you run your own business.
Yeah. It's alright though. Planning is the biggest thing I'm learning at the moment. Time management and planning.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Once you get that down pat, well, everything seems a bit to flow a bit easier.
Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely.
And you can book your time in, you can work around the hours you want, like you said before.
Yep.
So, and that's what makes it perfect. Being your own boss.
Yeah, that's right. I do enjoy that side of it.
Yeah.
There's a bit more stress that comes with it, of course, but you know.
Of course.
You do get to make your own time, your own decisions, and.
But it's also a lot more rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Knowing that, hey, hang on a sec, this is all for me and my family, rather than I'm working for my boss to get a brand new house or boat.
Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, we all have to do that from time to time, mate.
Well, we do that too as well, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, we've done our hard yards now. We're not in a bad position in life at the moment, so yeah,
No, perfect.
it's good.
us around your ride.
Alright. So obviously trim is my game, so I've gone ahead and done all this. These are all custom, so these are aluminium strips that I've inserted myself. So I wanted to go with a factory sort of feel, but I didn't want to get the reproduction door trims, so basically I made my own. Put the original stitch pattern back in and that sort of thing.
Oh, perfect.
Covered these up as well. Everyone will know how terrible they are when they start to crack and that sort of thing, so I just went ahead and recovered the handles as well.
Yep.
Bench seats all been done. Right, again, back to original. But you know, new springs, new foam, all that sort of stuff. The dash is probably the only thing I haven't touched, to be honest.
Well, the dash is in perfect nick.
Yeah, it is in really good condition, so I haven't had to worry with it.
Ah, perfect. And what have you done at the back? Most people deck it out with beds and everything else.
Yeah, I'm no different. Yeah, so that's the back. Like, again, I kept this one fairly simple. Just a bit of mood lighting up here. This is about the only tricky thing we went with.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, just kept this one fairly simple. Made my own hood lining, all my own hood lining bows up, because I mean, you can buy the kit, but I didn't know where to get the kit at that point. So, and as I do when I'm in my shed with no money, I just make stuff. So
perfect.
That's what happened there.
Absolutely. Oh, that works out well.
Yeah, so this is great for camping trips. I've got a tail tent for it as well.
Oh, awesome.
So I'll stick a tent over the tail of it, and yeah, you know, it's got a big zip open fly screen, that sort of thing. So you get the air movement in there. If you've ever tried camping in the back of one of these with the doors shut, yeah, it's like
bit of a sauna.
Like a tin can, mate.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have that tail tent on there, you know.
Absolutely.
Again, you know, I sort of pinched the idea from Holden because they used to do them back in the day, but I sort of made my own rendition of that.
Fine.
So,
absolutely, mate. If it works, it works.
yeah, it takes about 5 minutes to put on, and away you go.
Not a drama. And this is that steering wheel you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a good shot of it in there, but
oh yeah, I can see all the pattern in it. It's awesome.
yeah, unfortunately, because it's so small, it's sort of like such a small diameter around the steering wheel. It curves away, and the pictures kind of get a little bit lost.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if you can see underneath there, written van life.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, just all flowers and bits and pieces and roses and flames and yeah.
No, awesome. I've seen you've done the sun visor as well.
Yeah, I bought that at a going out of business sale. And it had rust in it, but it didn't really worry me, so I just went ahead and did the rust, left the rust holes in it.
Nice, motor is nice and clean.
Yeah, we painted it all up, and when we did the cam and that, we had all this stuff off, you know. I just went up and pinched it all off Joshy and painted it up. He painted some of the parts up as well, but he even split the alternator for me and painted that, you know.
Yep.
Again, this was just before we took it over for the summer net, so we were trying to tidy it up as much as I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that my Sparky's left the wiring looking fairly original.
Yep.
You couldn't really tell that, apart from looking at that, of course. But yeah, all the body control modules and bits and pieces, all the things that we need, whatever they are all tucked right down there at the back of the guard.
Oh, perfect.
So you couldn't see them. I really wanted to keep as much stuff out of sight as I could. We put a nice big new fuse and relay box in here behind the battery, just out of sight in there.
Yep.
For all the extra relays and stuff we needed for fuel injection gear.
Yep. And this doesn't have the power steering in it yet?
Not yet. No, I've got the pump for it. I just don't have a box.
Okay.
And if Zoe's ever going to drive it, then I'm going to need to rectify that at some point.
It's always like driving a big truck in it when you don't have the power steering on these old vehicles.
Yeah. And yeah, I left the commercial front end on it.
Yep.
A lot of people look at it and say, what's that off? You know, they think it's custom or something. No, it's just the WB commercial front end.
Oh, nice.
So I just painted it black.
No, it works well. It
Yeah.
blends in with all the other parts of the car. So
Yeah, it's gained the nickname the Panda Bear, but it's like, what do you do?
hey, it could be
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
No, it's sensational. Love the ride, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
Love
man.
the ride. Awesome. Well, look, thanks for talking to us and
No
cruising
problems at all,
down the
mate.
road with us and chatting with us at Aussie Garage. And
No.
hey, we'll chat again soon.
Absolutely.
No
Certainly
problem,
will.
mate. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Phil. Cheers, mate.
See you, bud.